Hello and welcome to this week's reading vlog. We are at Sunday again already, so it is time for me to tell you the books that I will be reading for the start of this week. So the first one is one that I'm carrying over from last week, and that is Nocticadia by Kerri. I am not very far into this at all. I am on page 110, 17% of the way through, and on chapter 12. So this is about a woman whose mother passes away, and there seems to be some weird circumstances around it in terms of this weird parasite type situation, and she ends up getting a scholarship for a very prestigious university called Nocticadia, and it is a dark romance and it has some trigger warnings in there, and I think there is a relationship between a professor and the student, so that's also something to bear in mind. I would definitely recommend you check the trigger warnings for this, because obviously that it does also deal with death of a parent, those kind of things. I'm not really far into this, so things are mostly just setting up. The main character has just gotten to the university, so I will see, or the college I guess, because it is American, so I will definitely be continuing on with this and seeing what it's like. I am then reading a book that I have seen absolutely everywhere, and it has been a very highly anticipated read for me, and it's the first book from my July TBR, and that is Yesteryear by Caro Burke. And this is about a woman who has a social media presence, so she's sort of like an influencer, but she's like a trad wife influencer, and she basically pretends that she does everything on this farm called Yesteryear, and she has all these kids, and it's just meant to be, as I said, very traditional values, that kind of thing. But beneath the surface, you know, there's lots of people helping out, there's lots of things happening that people don't know about, and mysteriously one day she gets transported back in time to, it hasn't specified because it's like she's just gone back and doesn't know, but she sort of gets transported back, and it's like it's still her home, her family, everything is seemingly the same, but it's back in the times when, you know, being a traditional wife was just the way of things, and she's having to figure out what on earth is going on and what's happened. And honestly, I am really enjoying this. I'm on page 226, so I made a start on this yesterday and I haven't wanted to put it down, so I will definitely be continuing on with this. I was a bit apprehensive. I got it because it was one that I'd seen absolutely everywhere, and then the hardback was on a sale, so it was like £8.50 for the hardback, which is really good price because I think it's meant to be like nearly 20. It's £16.99 normally, so I snapped it up, but I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, if, you know, it would be one that I would enjoy, because sometimes they're hyped, but I'm enjoying it so far, and I will definitely continue reading and see where it goes. So yeah, also we popped out to Home Bargains today, and you can very briefly see it. I bought all of the Gilmore Girls things. I put the other stuff through there, but I bought Gilmore Girls blanket, Gilmore Girls pajamas, I bought a mug and a set of bed sheets because I always miss them, and Gilmore Girls is my absolute favourite, so I have picked everything up. So I will be making a coffee in my new mug very shortly. So this week is not off to a very strong start so far. I haven't really done that much reading. So yesterday I didn't really do any more reading since I started the vlog and updated on what I was going to read. I just spent some time with Dave, this weekend we just spent some time together, made a conscious effort to do that just because we've been quite busy. So yes, I did make a very, very small amount of progress on Nocticadia. So I read a chapter yesterday and a chapter today, and that is all. So not a whole bunch to update on at the moment. I'm now on page 132 and I'm only 20% of the way in. So it is still switching perspectives between, I think I was calling her Lila before, but I'm pretty sure her name is like Lilia, but I don't know. In my head I still read it as Lila, but I think it's Lilia and Deverick. So Deverick is the professor at the college, university, whatever you want to call it, and obviously Lilia is a student and she is still getting to grips with everything, and the story hasn't really fully kicked off yet because I'm not very far into it. So there's been some questionable things happening with this potential like parasite, the worms, that kind of thing. So I think this is obviously going to be a big part of it. But Lilia hasn't started any classes yet. She has been looking around. She's been warned by some students to stay away from certain places. So it is really just setting everything up. But I am planning to try and get into this properly and just make good progress because I am enjoying it. I'm not sitting and reading it, and I just want to really get into it. So there is that. I haven't made any more progress on Yesteryear, and I think my focus is going to try and be Nocticadia, the majority, just so that I can get that done, because I do have a few arcs that I need to read in July, and I want to get Nocticadia done so that I can then make a start on those. But that is pretty much all the update that I have at the moment, but hopefully the rest of the week will be a little bit better. It is still absolutely boiling, so I needed to pop to the shop at lunchtime. So as I was doing that, I thought to myself, I'll take some of the Ellie books that I've been needing to take to the book box and just hadn't got round to it. And as I got there, it was very, very full, and I did pick out 3 books from the book box, so I thought I would show them to you. And I think I need to do a bit of an unhaul on some of my books. I do tend to now, if I'm not particularly bothered about the book, I won't keep it, but I am in a position now. So when I was growing up, I used to get books quite a lot, and then we moved so often that I just didn't keep any books, and I had my Kindle, so I was like, I'll just get everything on there. And then very recently we've moved here, but I say recently, it's been over 2 years we've been here, and I've really started to collect books, and it is becoming a little bit of a problem because I just don't have the room. I am getting new bookcases for my birthday, so I'm hoping that will help, just because the bookcase next to me is only a small one. So I'm thinking a 2 tall billies, obviously wider, because this next to me is not a billy. This is a knockoff. It is from IKEA, but it was one that was in a sale, and it's not as long as a billy, so I want a billy here. Anyway, that's by the by. I have just been keeping hold of a lot of books that I wouldn't necessarily actually care to keep now. It's just that I got into a little bit of I don't want to let go of books, because I have unhauled and obviously had to donate a lot of books when we moved so many times. I had to do that because we just feasibly couldn't keep moving stuff, and obviously some of the places we moved on were relatively small. So anyway, all this to say, I picked up 3 books out of the book box, and I will see how I get on with them. And so none of them look like they've been read either, so that is kind of crazy to me, but we shall go through them anyway. So the first one is Crossing the Line by Simone Soltani, and this also has a sprayed edge, which is really cute, and this is about F1. So I have read an F1 romance previously, it was here somewhere. I think it might be further down. It's on the shelf somewhere. But yes, and I thought it was okay. I'm not a huge F1 fan, honestly, but I enjoyed that one. And when I saw that this had a sprayed edge, I just thought, well, I'll give that a go. And it just sounded really cute. So there's this. The person who got this clearly likes kind of sportsy or doesn't like sportsy romances, because then there was Behind the Net by Stephanie Archer, and this is, of course, about ice hockey. I say that, I'm like, of course, and then now I'm like, is it? Yeah, I think surely that's ice hockey, right? And you know what? I've not read an ice hockey romance. I know a lot of people that really love them, and I don't know if this one is a series that people enjoy, but why not give this one a go? So I picked that up. And then there was Things I Wanted to Say by Monica Murphy. Now, I nearly didn't pick this up because I thought this was later in the series. So I've seen A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime, and I was like, okay, this must be just one further on in the series, so I won't pick it up. But then when I looked on Goodreads, it says that this is the first one in the series, but it also, I did have a little bit of a Google, and it said you can read them out of order, so I'm not sure on that, but I thought I would pick it up anyway and potentially give it a go. But I didn't realise how big these books were. Like, it's massive. So yes, I will attempt this. I'm not sure that I've seen many people talk about this one. Definitely A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime I've seen everywhere, so I just assumed that one was the first one. A very unexpected book haul when I went to the shop, which, yeah, it's becoming a little bit of a problem, but never mind, because my July haul is going to be ridiculous, because of course it is my birthday this month as well, so I'm sure I will get some books from family, and I've also got a Waterstones voucher, all that jazz. So I think an unhaul may be coming quite soon. It's got to. There's no room for books at the moment. If only I had my own library, but never mind. So I didn't really do much of an update yesterday, but also I didn't actually do much reading yesterday either. So we had to be tidy because we've got some people coming to do some work today. So we had to sort everything out, and then it was really hot, so that didn't help. And yeah, I just couldn't be bothered. So I didn't read until I got into bed, and I read more of Nocticadia. So I'm on page 165 now, so I'm getting into this a little bit more. I am really enjoying it. There's been some intriguing things going on. There's a character in here that I was getting a little bit suspicious about, and then one of the other characters has made a comment saying don't trust that guy. So, but I don't know whether that's a little bit of a red herring and the guy is going to actually be decent, but he just seems to be cropping up everywhere that she is, and seems to be so friendly and so nice. And then it's just also, we've found out that his dad also works at the school, so yeah, he's just giving me a little bit of suspicious vibes, but I don't know yet. Editing me is coming in because my mic died partway through one of the bigger updates that I did at the beginning of this vlog, and I had no clue. So I'm talking for a really long time, there's no sound. I really need to make sure that I am checking that the audio is all there before I conclude filming. So this is just me coming in here to say that I don't know what I was saying in that part of the vlog. I was given an update, I was saying that someone was suspicious. This is just another reminder for me to check that the microphone is always green and not off when I'm talking. So yes, unfortunately that clip does end really abruptly, and then it just goes into the next one. I am going to be working on checking that that is not the case going forward. So just a small interlude to apologise for that. I have finished work for the day and made myself a vanilla latte in my new Gilmore Girls mug. Just spin it around, which says coffee please and a shot of cynicism, which is really cute. And my plan is to sit and read for the evening. So I have Nocticadia, and I have made a little bit of progress on this. So I'm now on page 194. I'm 29% of the way through. So mostly it is just Lilia getting used to the school and all of her classes. She's had a few classes with Deverick now. He seems to be a bit of a horrible guy, so that's not great. And yes, she saw like a portrait and it looked like her mom. And then there was another few comments about somebody who looked a lot like her. So I am wondering if her mum is going to be connected to this school in some way, and that is why she has this parasite, and that's how it's all connected, because there's been lots of mentions about the fact that it is only contained to this island. So it's strange that her mum has it, or did have it, because as far as she's aware, she never went to Nocticadia. So that's quite interesting. And she's clearly trying to get a little bit closer to Deverick to try and get some answers to what could have possibly happened to her mom. So that's really interesting. But yes, my plan is to sit and read this for the rest of the evening. I haven't made any more progress on Yesteryear, which is just here, but I do want to pick this up as well and continue on with it because it was really interesting. I was really enjoying it. I just need to find the time to do everything that I need to do. But yep, that's pretty much my plan for the rest of the evening. I am definitely getting more into Nocticadia now. I have spent most of the evening reading this, so I am on page 276. I'm 41% of the way through, so it is a long book. I didn't realise how long it actually was, but yeah, I'm definitely getting into it. The story has picked up. There's a few things that have been revealed and a few things that are happening which are really intriguing. I can see that Lilia and Deverick are potentially noticing. Well, Lilia, of course, is attracted to Deverick. It is a big thing about the fact that he's such an attractive teacher, professor, and he is kind of starting to take notice of her too. So that is quite interesting to see, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops between the two of them. But yes, my plan now is to get myself up to bed and probably just read some more of it this evening. And yep, that's pretty much it really. An iced coffee is definitely needed this morning. The weather has gone crazy again. I have made some more progress on Nocticadia, so I read it last night. I'm now on page 288. I'm only 43% of the way through, but there are some things in this that are slowly linking together, and something was revealed in this that I wasn't expecting, but is going to be very interesting. So it's difficult to say because I'm trying not to give any spoilers, but there's quite a lot of things that are linking, quite a lot of things that are being revealed that are quite interesting and will just change dynamics, and lots of interesting possibilities will come out of this. So I am looking forward to continuing on. There has been some really interesting moments in this, and I can see the two main characters slowly starting to build up. But I actually like that it's slow. Like, we're 43% of the way through and nothing has actually happened between the two of them. There's clearly both of them are feeling through to them, but they're not even aware that the other person does. So I actually really like that, and I like the fact that yes, there is a romance in it, but it is not the main focus. The main focus is about this school and about this parasite and how all that's going to link together. So I'm really looking forward to getting into it some more a little bit later. I have spent most of the evening reading more of Yesteryear, so I decided to pick this back up. I haven't read any of it in a couple of days and I'm just really wanted to get back into it, and I've been sucked back in immediately. So I have made quite a bit of progress on this. So I'm now on page 258. So I think I'm just over halfway through. I'm definitely over halfway through now, so I'm, there's not too much left to go, but I really like the whole switching between the two timelines and each chapter being in those two different, well, I guess timelines is technically the right way, but two different scenarios, because yes, she is in the past, but is she? So we still don't know how she got into this past life that's technically her ranch and her kids and her family, but not quite. But it's really interesting and I'm intrigued to see how that will unfold. I'm wondering, I've got some theories thinking possibly, is she actually really there? Is she having a mental breakdown and it's some kind of hallucination? Is there some weird magic to it? Like, I'm intrigued to find out. And then it's also really interesting seeing the sort of real world. It's difficult to explain it, but sort of like how the ranch came to be, how it was quite difficult from the start, but she's basically just pretending that everything is fine, and how she's marketing herself in a specific way to appeal to people. And she's obviously just putting on this front as a social media person, but then it's also giving you an insight into what's really happening. So I'm really enjoying that, and I'm finding that the chapters are really short as well, so that helps, because something will happen at the end of one of the chapters in the specific scenario we're in, and then it will move on to the other one, so it'll flick between, it alternates, and I want to keep reading because I want to know what's going to happen next. But in both really, but it's keeping me engaged enough. And yeah, all of the characters are kind of the worst, but in an interesting way. So I'm finding it really, really interesting. And yeah, I've not got much left to read at all. So it'd be good to get this finished in the next few days. So I only have tomorrow at work, and then we've got an extra long weekend because we are in London on Saturday seeing My Chemical Romance, which I'm very excited for. So I have pretty much all day Friday to do reading as well, so I'm sure I'll get this done. But yes, I think I'm going to get myself into bed and probably continue on with this. I did read a little bit more of Nocticadia when I first finished work, but not a whole lot. So I'm now on page 316. I'm almost 50% of the way through this, so I will also probably just pick this back up tomorrow. But it's just a lot longer than I was expecting. Now it is still interesting and still getting into it, but yeah, it's a bit slower than I thought it would be. But overall, really enjoying it. And then yeah, I also did some editing because I had to edit a video that I filmed a while ago. So there is that. But yeah, I'm just going to get myself up into bed and get back into this. Bloody warm. Oh, I'll turn the fan off. I don't know if you could hear the fan, but I think it's probably best to just have it off. So this morning I finished Yesteryear. I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I did read more of it last night, and then this morning I didn't have much to read at all, so I just really wanted to get it done. And I wasn't expecting the end and the kind of reveal at all. It wasn't what I had thought at all. Cat hair. So that was really good. It surprised me and it was really interesting. I like I really like how it ended because I didn't want it to be a dream. I was really worried that that's what the ending was going to be, but you know, like a little bit of a cop out, but it wasn't at all. And yeah, I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It's not what I would usually pick up at all either. So I really picked this up purely on the hype around it and the fact that everyone seemed to be loving it. And then I saw it was cheap, so I picked it up. But I'm glad that I did, because you don't always know whether that's a good choice or not. But with this one, absolutely. So yeah, 4 stars. It wasn't 100% 5-star for me. I think close to a 4.5. It was on the higher end of a 4-star, and absolutely would recommend this. Honestly, it was so good. And I spoke to my sister about it and she loved it. She gave it 5 stars. But yes, that is a book finished in this vlog, so that's amazing. And I think I haven't read any more of it, but I will just be picking up Nocticadia for the rest of this week, most probably, to get that going. And that is pretty much it. It's still absolutely boiling hot. I've got quite a busy day today, but because I'm not working tomorrow, I'm hoping that when I finish work I will have a bit more time to read, get some progress made. Because I finished Yesteryear, I am going to pick my next physical read because I want to. That's it. So I have 5 books on my physical TBR left to read, and my plan is I'm going to roll a 6-sided dice and read whichever number we see. But if it lands on number 6, then I'm just going to pick whatever I want, basically. Number 6 is I get to pick which one, which is quite funny because there's not one that's particularly, well, there is one that's particularly calling out to me, but I want to wait and read that one in my birthday week. So, well, I say my birthday week, the week off I have for my birthday. But yeah, that is the plan. So I am going to roll this dice and see what we get. So I probably should have showed you the books that I actually have. That would have been helpful, wouldn't it? So obviously I finished Yesteryear. I finished Assassin's Apprentice, which actually was technically part of June. So that was technically behind. But then we've got an Ellie Dean, Sweet Memories of You. We've got Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. We've got Electric Idol by Katie Robert. We've got Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. This is the one I want to read in the week I've had for my birthday. But if we land on it, we land on it. And then I've got 4 to Score by Janet Ivanovic. So I think we just roll the dice and see what happens. I don't actually know what that is. 1. Okay, so it is Ellie Dean. So we're getting this one out of the way relatively early in the month. I finished work for the week, so I am happy. I have an extra long weekend. I'm really looking forward to that. I have been reading more of Nocticadia. I am on at page 386. I'm just over halfway through this and I am still really enjoying it. I am finding it's a little bit slower than I was expecting, and Lilia has just now started working in Professor Bramwell / Deverick's private lab, so I imagine their story is going to start picking up a lot more and we'll start to see a romance between them. Like, as I said, we can see the hints of the two of them clearly like each other, but neither is aware of the other in that way. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how this all pans out. But yeah, it's just taken me a lot longer. I didn't realise it was nearly 700 pages long, and I don't mind that so much. But because it is, I know it's dark academia and it has romance in it, I just wasn't expecting it to be as long as it is, and I am finding parts of it are dragging a little bit. But I'm hoping that this next bit is going to start really picking up and we'll start connecting more of the dots that we have slowly been connecting throughout this. So I'm intrigued to see where this will go. I've had a few theories on things and some things have panned out and there's a few other things that are coming in, so I'm really interested to see how it goes. My plan tomorrow is mostly to read. I've got to do some packing to make sure I've got everything ready for Saturday, because we're leaving super early on Saturday. But reading and editing this vlog so it is ready to go live is pretty much all of my plans. You will have seen earlier I picked my next physical book, which is an Ellie Dean, and this is Sweet Memories of You. So this is the 10th book in the Cliffhaven series, which is about Beachview boarding house, and each book is set during World War II, and there is the main character Peggy Riley, who owns the boarding house, and lots of different people end up coming either to stay at the boarding house or in the area. She ends up getting to know them. So the last two that I read in this series were actually connected, which has never happened before, but this one looks like it is following a different person. So this one is now in 1943, so I'll just quickly read the back. So it says, it's 1943 and Peggy Riley is at her best when troubles of war come knocking at the door of Beachview boarding house, especially when it concerns her younger sister Doreen. Doreen is divorced from Eddie, but his letters have taken a more threatening tone of late. When Doreen barely survives a traumatic disaster whilst on leave in London, she returns home to Peggy in Cliffhaven in hopes that love and comfort she will find there will help her recover. However, Eddie continues to be an unsettling reminder of her past, and Doreen's life is about to change dramatically. So this one seems to be based around Peggy's sister Doreen, and we haven't really seen much of her. She has been mentioned in passing, and I think she might have been in one or two of the other books as a side character. So it'd be really interesting to see how she is as a main character in this and how exactly her story will unfold. They aren't as long as they have been. So this one is 434 pages long. So they're all around about 400 to 500 pages. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into it. As I said, it's a 10th book in the series. I've read plenty of these already. And yeah, I will see how this goes. But yeah, I think this will be a nice easy one just to have, and is very different and a bit of a genre, you know, change from Nocticadia. And that is pretty much it. I have cracked open a monster and it's 9:20. So I'm just going to hang out here and then more reading done. It is absolutely roasting. I did buy a mini fan and it is the best thing ever, but I've had to turn it off so that I can record this. So I have been reading more of Nocticadia. I'm on page, I just checked it and then I forgot, 483. I'm 71% of the way through. So I think that I am going to hopefully get this done today. It's definitely picked up a lot since the last time I checked in. Things are starting to happen, so I can imagine things are going to progress, and there are still a few things that are going on that, but yeah, it's actually really interesting. As I said, it is a little bit slower than I was hoping, but I feel like it's just slowly building up to everything, which I'd rather that than it be really quick and feel rushed. So yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing on with this, and that is pretty much all that I have planned for today, other than doing some editing because I need to get everything ready for tomorrow. But yeah, and I'll probably do some packing, but we're traveling light, so yeah, it'd be nice if I could get this done today and then have a fresh book to take while traveling to London tomorrow. That would be quite nice, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't read any of this yet, but maybe I'll read a chapter or two of this later. And that is it. Just try not to melt because it's far too hot. We have had food. It is now at 7 o'clock in the evening. I have got just under an hour left on Nocticadia, so my plan is to sit here and get this done. I'm going to lock in, get it done. I need to edit this vlog so it will be ready. I haven't even started editing it, so that is ridiculous of me. Edit this vlog and then I need to shower and get everything packed ready for tomorrow, but I am determined to get this done. There's so much has happened. There's so many things, a lot that I wasn't really expecting, so that has been really interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this will all come together. And yeah, I can see why it was a little bit slower and a little bit longer, because there are so many things that are linking up, which I actually really like. It's been quite a reveal, so it's been really interesting and I'm looking forward to getting done with it. It is still absolutely boiling, so I will see what I can do. This is actually a really nice angle. So my reading chair is there, I'm at the dining table. This is the bookcase that you never really see. Well, you do sometimes see this, and my other bookcase. So yeah, I actually quite like this. I do still need to get some stuff on the walls. I want to take a trip to TK Maxx to get some bits up there. But anyway, I have finished Nocticadia and I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was definitely longer than I was expecting, and I did find that it was a little slow in some places and probably could have been a little bit shorter. It was very long of a book overall, but I can understand why it's longer than I was expecting, because there were a lot of things that were sort of introduced and it's woven in, lots of like reveals and then part reveals and lots of things connecting together. But I do think it could have, just personally for me, been a little bit shorter. I did like the fact that everything wrapped up really nicely. There were a lot of loose threads that all came together to the end. There were a lot of reveals, a lot of things that I did not see coming at all. That was really interesting. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of the end, so there was a little bit of a sort of cliffhangery, not cliffhangery, but there was something at the end that was kind of like a hint of something. And then there is like some bonus chapter that you can download. I think you might have to sign up to a newsletter. There was like a little thing in the end of this that was like, click here to find out how to get a bonus chapter. And I did also Google it because I wasn't sure if this was part of a series or if it was standalone. Everything I've read has said this is a standalone. I do think it's open-ended enough that there is potential that more could come from this. I'm just not sure how I feel. I don't know if I will be reading the bonus chapter. I'm not really that bothered. So there's just that. But if you've read this and you have read the bonus chapter and you think that it is worth it, please let me know, because I might actually look into it. But right now I'm don't really care, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, overall I gave it 4 stars. I can't remember if I said. I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it, and I would definitely be interested in reading more from Kerri Lake. I think she's got another book series, Anathema, and I think that, I'm not sure if it's a duology, but there's definitely at least 2 books I know in that series, so I would pick up more from Kerri Lake. But yeah, just a few things niggly personally for me, but overall I really enjoyed it, so that's good. So pretty much the final hour I finished a book. So yeah, so to wrap up the vlog, obviously I've just finished Nocticadia, so that's great. And then the other book that I read and finished this week was Yesteryear, and I also really enjoyed this. I actually had a call with my sister today because she read it, she gave it 5 stars, she really loved it, and we were discussing it, and there is so much in this that I really liked. And I don't think I will do it just yet, but I think this actually might benefit from a reread, because I do think there's lots of hints and lots of things. Now, of course, there is a bit of a twist in this that of course I didn't get, but I think it would be interesting to reread this with the knowledge of that twist to see if I could pick out and maybe get any hints on it and see how it's woven in. But I definitely really enjoyed it, and I would honestly recommend this to most people. I thought it was really, really good, and I believe this is her debut, so absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think it is probably time for me to wrap this up because I need to edit this vlog and get it ready, and I do need to be in bed quite early tonight. So yes, these are the 2 books that I read this week. So please let me know what you've been reading this week. Have you read either of these 2 books? What are your thoughts on them? And as always, please do like this video if you like it, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and thank you so much for watching.